Yo guys, what is going on? Blossoms back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives and another episode of what can you get from that pack. Obviously we're reviewing packs, and today's pack in question is the Gunters Collection Carbon Fiber. It is in the next series of that, collection series based around bosses. Now, I love the idea because frankly I came up with it, but also at the same time, I feel like they're kind of running this into the ground. I think Hutch is running this into the ground. I mean, we're getting boss challenge after boss challenge after boss challenge after boss challenge. Like, there needs to be a little bit more variety, giving out a boss challenge every single time feels like RQ100 prize car after RQ100 prize car after RQ100 prize car. We love the RQ100s, sure, but you gotta put in some 80 pluses and some 90 pluses in there just for the sake of variety. And also, if every single tri-series prize car is great, the greatness will lose its meaning, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we should put in bad ideas for special tags in this, but just some variety would be nice. But talking about variety, at least this doesn't follow the normal blueprint in terms of the criteria. All the previous collection challenges surrounded by the bosses were kind of surrounded by quote-unquote their home country. They kind of did Tuma a bit dirty because it wasn't just Japan, so that was going off the scale a little bit. But then this one isn't really around a country, it's around a time period. It's 70s and 80s cars, and this is actually quite a pretty interesting pack that I'm looking forward to opening. Now, in terms of prize cards and stuff, the rollout for Gunters collection has been really strange. Until yesterday, there was no news post about it. There were no updates, and there are still no updates in terms of the builders collection because you don't even get awarded you're not awarded any coins. As you can see over here, I mean, you get the flags, yeah, but where are the coins? I don't see it. But then again, they still call it a builder collection, and if you go into the pack section of things, there are no redeemable packs this time around, which is sad because that feature was great. You could get like a 3-time carbon fiber and a guaranteed epic for like 1,000 points, and that was always fantastic. But the thing is, when it comes to top drives and Hutch, if it's too good to be true, it probably won't be around for too long. Like the OG season passes. The OG season passes, the ones that cost like $34 or something, $30 to $34 to purchase, the premium deluxe pass, whatever that was so worth it. I remember getting like, what, 300k, a bunch of carbon fibers from that. That was great. But obviously that was too good to be true. They're discontinued. They're probably not coming back. And instead of a $40 pass, they're kind of slapping us with where can I find it? This one. Yeah, look, man, right now my account is under Malaysian currency, and as you can see, that is 1,200. You know what, Giselle, look at this. Look at the price of this pass. Tell me what you think.
Price of what?
This.
Oh, wow.
That's for like in-game cards. Do you see? You know what, I'm gonna put some photos of flight tickets that are cheaper than this. Yeah, this thing is just it's ridiculous. I mean, Giselle's gone to Taiwan. Return. That's cheaper than this. It's stupid. But am I going to make a 10-minute rant video about that? Probably not. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to the prizes for Gunters collection. They're doing a little different approach this time. Instead of going into the challenge tab, they're using the seasonal objectives tab, lasting only 20 days. This is what you can collect. So we're starting off with the above 1600. Don't care. And then we have the Peugeot 2008 Dakar. I want to say don't care. I mean, I'm going to max it out. Might be useful. High ground clearance, but it's not 4-wheel drive. Then we've got the 1500 Gold Shot. Okay, yeah, I care about this. That's pretty cool. And then last but not least, probably less desirable than the Epic Prize car is the Audi TT RS. It's a beautiful car, beautiful photo, and that's about it. You're not going to get anything else out of this. Unless you max the handling, I don't think you'll get a lot of value out of the Iconic Edition. But anyway, let's get into reviewing the pack, and it's a pretty decent pack, I might say. We're going to start off with these 5 cars here. The Roof, the TBR, the Donkavort, the 911, and the Aston Martin V8. And the selection of these 5 cars kind of tell me that, I think more thought was put into this collection tag, more thought than most others, because, and when I mean more thought, I mean more thought for the players, because I feel like this special tag is a lot less, for the lack of a better word, shit. Compared to Nicholas and Tuma that came before it. This one actually has a lot of not attainable, but cars that people will want. cars that people will wishlist and dream to get, useful cars that can help players in the long run of things. And we're going to start off with these first 5 cars. Why I think that this has been pretty well thought out. I'm going to show you Top Drive's records with some of the times here. So, as you can see, the Lotus Esprit Turbo was not included in this tag. Now, I'm going to show you my filters, if I can find where the filters are. So, my filters are under B. It's within that time frame, you know, for Nicholas Collection, 70s and 80s cars, low ground clearance, and that's about it. We're doing all tires here, right? So, there are not a lot of cars to choose from at the bottom. They chose most of it to come up within this RQ range of 53, 52. The Aerovet came up, but that's a dragster, so I'm not comparing it here. I'm putting the hybrids together, like the TBR and the Porsche, the Donkavort, right? And as you can see, they took away the Esprit, and I can see why, because if you put the Esprit in the comparison, it becomes completely dominant, like it beats everything on the Twisty. So when you take the Esprit away, it becomes, you know, a grudge match between the 911 and the Donkavort, making both these cars more useful in this collection challenge as well. And in the grand scheme of things, they're second fiddle only to the Esprit, but obviously there's a better car. But as you can see with the optional cars from Gunters collection, there's a bit of a balance, I guess. Like every car has a moment here. The Donkavort has the super twisties, the 911 has the hybrids, and then when it comes to the TVR 450, it has the drags, which honestly, you know, if you own this car, I would probably go 332 if I get another one. I'm not sure what the current tune on my current TVR is, but 332 seems to be the way. It doesn't win any of the hybrid track sets anyway. You want a hybrid car, you go for the Porsche 911 Turbo, but I think that was pretty well thought out. You got cars like the Roof Turbo 3.3. I mean, it wins a 0 to 150, so there's that, but that's only because there's no time for the 450, so I don't know what the time of that's going to be. I think the only car that's really terrible is the V8 Zagato, the Aston Martin, which still is the best car within this really small sample size with the testable. But anyway, let's get back into the tier list. So overall, I think some of the most useful cars, I mean, I think let's put them all in has little moments, because I don't think they're going to be super useful, but they all have little moments. This requires a special tag challenge for sure. The V8 Zagato is bad. Now let's look at these 4 that we started off with. I think the S880 requires a special tag challenge, because like I said, the moment we bring in that, you know, Lotus Esprit, this thing becomes completely redundant. So it's a special tag challenge that is, you know, excluding the Lotus, that's making the Donkavort shine. So definitely requires a special tag challenge. Roof Turbo 3.3, it requires a special tag challenge. And then I think for the TVR and the Porsche, I'm okay leaving them with has little moments. Moving on to the medium ground clearance stuff, we've got the Di Tommaso and the Ford Sierra. I'm gonna put a photo right here of their times. The Sierra is just a little better. I'm gonna put the Sierra in requires some criteria. Di Tommaso in has little moments as well. Okay, maybe has little moments. Again, I feel like it has its niches, it's just that its niches never really come around, but I don't think it's at the bottom. Moving on to the off-road tire stuff, I think there are 3 of them to select. The Skoda i30 LR, I'm going to say, is versatile because it handles the best. As for the other 2, not so good. Peugeot 305, yeah, I mean, some people say it's more of a dragster kind of thing, but then again, it's when it comes to drag and off-road, it's one of the rare situations where you're better off using a 4-wheel drive all-surface tire car. And if you've been playing Top Drives as long as I have, you will know that it's very rare for any event to explicitly separate all surface and off-road tire cars. Usually it's just off-road tire tracks, and you can either use all surface and off-road. That's up to the player. There was one event that I did not record for gameplay day, but I really wanted to talk about it, but I was super busy that week. It was last week. It was an event where it required you to either use, I think it was like, it was, I can't remember what it was anymore, but it was one of those events where you could use either all surface or off-road, slick tires, or performance. But all of the best hands were just using off-road and slick tires anyway, and the all-surface and performance were all just redundant. I can't remember what that event was. It was last week. I did want to rant about that a little bit, I just didn't have the time. But anyway, off-road tires just going to be better. But when, in really rare circumstances, in the drag, when it comes to off-road, I do favor all-surface tire cars. They do get better traction off the line as well, and they 10 times lower 0 to 60s, and handling isn't too useful in an off-road drag. So, you know, the argument is people say the Peugeot 305 is, you know, a better dragster than it is a twisty off-road car. Sure, but it still isn't going to be the best in many cases, so I'm going to put that in has little moments. Chevrolet Aerovet is a discount version of the Charger 3. It doesn't make it bad, but it isn't the best option to use. Then we have the Gunters. So both of these, okay, Gunters 5000 Quattro, whatever that is. I'm gonna put that in has little moments. I've never unpacked this car before. One of the few ultra rares that I've never unpacked ever. But this other Gunters, the anniversary, I have like 3 of them. 2 fully upgraded. Third one I think I fused away. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put that in versatile, and it might become highly versatile if all the best dragsters become epic. I'm saying like if things like the BMW M5, if the Holden the Fiji, if those 2 cars go up to epic, if that Mercedes S65, if it goes back up, because it used to be epic and it went down, if that goes back up to epic, because Hutch, you know, especially like I'm using the logic of the AutoZam change, the AutoZam going to RQ39, because that's a specialist and needs to be bumped up. You know, if things like the M5, if things like the Fiji, they go up, if the Spiker goes up, which I think is really dumb because the Spiker and the BMW, all of these cars were epic. They went on Ultra, but that's for another video. If those go up, I think the Gunters will be one of the best dragsters and top drives for the Ultra category. But that isn't set in stone yet, so I'm just gonna put it in versatile. It has great MRA, high top speed. There are 2 ways to upgrade this car. You can go drag spec, or you can go 233, get 89 handling, use it for the fast circuit. Pretty versatile, hence the grade. The Porsche 911 Turbo Martini requires some criteria. The Donkerfort D10, it's better than the S8AT. Still not that great though. I'm gonna put in has little moments. Then we have the Mazda 323 GT, which I'm gonna say is versatile, maybe edging on highly versatile. 4-wheel drive standard, you know, really lightweight car that handles well. You're definitely going to get value out of that. Also medium ground clearance. We've got the Citroen Visa. Honestly, I will bet, I don't want to bet my entire garage, but like with 95% confidence, I can say that this thing is going to epic in the next rarity change. If it doesn't go to epic, then something is completely wrong. Like how the Mustang Mach 1 that's uncommon stayed uncommon, even though things like the Boss and the Coronet were uncommon and went to rare. But like I said, that's for another rat video. But Citroen Visa, that's gonna go up to epic probably. It's so good. Make the most of it while it's still an ultra. That's what I'll say. Porsche Panamericana has little moments. The only time I utilize it is in a medium ground clearance Porsche event, and even then it's not the best because I would use the Panamera instead. Now next up, the Familia Sports. I'm going to put that in requires some criteria. So those are the ultra rares. We move on to the epics now, the Fiat X1/9. I'm going to put that in requires a special tag challenge. I've unpacked this car a few times. I think it's been in my, I've had this car, I unpacked it a long time ago. It sat in my garage for over 1,000 days and I fused it away. That was the story of the Fiat X19 in my garage. I had it, it was there for like 1,000 days. I fused it away because I found out, you know what, I'm never going to use it. And even for this challenge, I don't think I'm going to use it. Alpha 75 Turbo, again, I think it requires a special tag challenge. These two might shine for Gunters, but that is their sole purpose of being selected for this tag over other cars that weren't. Dodge M4S. Woo! This thing used to be so good when it was first introduced with American Frontier, right? It had all the MRA, had the top speed, handled pretty well. I don't think it's fared well within the test of time. It's a very mid-range epic. I'm going to put it in requires some criteria. I remember this thing being so good for In the Shadows. Remember that? Then we've got the Audi Sport Quattro. Has little moments. Love the car. Literally one of my favorite Audis, if not my favorite Audi in the game. 90 handling if you max it out. 4-wheel drive. I believe medium ground clearance. But then again, you just don't use it that much, right? You just don't. Then we got the, because if you need to use a medium ground clearance car from this era, you'd rather just go with the Ford Escort. I mean, look at the difference. It's 4.8 to 4.0, 8.1 to 8.5. People say, oh yeah, Sport Quattro's 8, it's 4-wheel drive. Again, it's inflation, dude. Ford, versatile, for sure. Some people might even argue it's highly versatile. I'm going to put it in versatile. One of the cars that I definitely want to get from this special tag, please. XJS TWR, pretty good, like the M4S. Hasn't really withstood the test of time. Really good MRA, high top speed, good handling, great hybrid car. But there are just better options to use now. So, you know, when it first came out in Great Exhibition, I would say maybe versatile. But now I would say it's dropped down a rank to require some criteria. Again, I know I've not said it until this point. I can't believe I haven't said it until this point. But with every single pack review, just remember this is my personal opinion based off my personal experiences of playing top drives over the 7-8 years. Okay, so yeah, I just gotta say that for every single video because now someone's gonna get pissed off. Someone's still gonna get pissed off anyway by what I say about some car. Mitsubishi HSR-2 is up next. I'm gonna say requires some criteria as well, kind of like Japanese. Well, that's the problem, right? Because you don't want to use it in Japanese wet. Everything from Japan is basically four-wheel drive. I think what you want to use this for is Japanese high top speed. If you can't use that Nissan R390, then the HSR-2 will be a pretty decent option for you. Now, moving on to the Porsche 924 Carrera GTP, I'm gonna say versatile, and then the Mazda 254, highly versatile. Mazda's got, you know, high top speed, good MRA, great handling. I've already fully upgraded this. The moment I found out that this was a Gunters collection car, I fully upgraded it. It's already fully upgraded. I'm already using a lot. With the 924, just a slightly worse version of the 254. That's just about it. These two cars are very similar, but one's just slightly better than the other. Then we move on to the Legends, and I gotta say they kind of hit the ball out of the park for this one. This is really good. Every single one here. I don't have any main critiques. I think they're all very decent in their own way. 717C comes in with the MRA. I actually don't remember the MRA in this, but it definitely comes in with that handling score of 94 stock. 104, I think we maxed it out. Proxima definitely comes in with the MRA, great top speed. Yeah, Lancia HF, maybe it's my time to finally, you know, unpack this four-wheel drive off-roader. Never got it from Italian Renaissance. This thing is a chock full of, you know, niches as well. American four-wheel drive or 1960s or all that kind of stuff, you know. It's recently gotten a buff, right? I think 2 updates ago it got a buff. Fantastic car. 757 as well, highly versatile. Can't go wrong with that. Even with the recent nerf to the IMSA GTO, I still think it's pretty good. Not as good as it used to be, but it's still good. And then we've got the 956. I mean, getting any legendary from this, I'll be very happy. Genuinely very happy. So I think this is a good pack, you know, compared to the recent ones we've seen with, like again, Tumas and Nicholas. Nicholas was absolutely terrible. I hated Nicholas collection. I think it's probably the worst one that we will ever see. I hope that doesn't get beat. But this is a good one. Gunter, good job. Okay, so we're gonna open a pack. Why not, man? I don't have a lot of gold, but I think this one is worth ripping open. Just getting a chance, you know? So here we go. $15.99. Maybe this is why they're not giving out those free redeemable packs this time, because the packs are good. You know, maybe Hutch knows that people will spend more money on these as opposed to the previous collection tags. I don't know. I think everything here should be Gunters as well. That's a good thing about these special packs. Alright, starting off a Mazda RX-7, nothing special. 3, 2, 1. Turbo Martini. Okay. Well, I mean, I like the car, but I also have 6 of them, so it is what it is. We also get 20k and 10 slots, and that's gonna be it. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about Gunters? I think it's a lot better than what we've had. I don't know. Maybe they're just feeling good. You know, it's Christmas time. They want to give us a collection series that isn't that bad. But they are pairing it with a prize card that's terrible, so there's that. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies. They so fine. Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies. They so fine. Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight